Thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode of the Real Israel Podcast with me, your host, Chaim Mailspin. Join us as we dive into Israel's past, present, and future as we explore the rich history, current events, and visionary perspectives shaping this dynamic region. Shalom, it's me, Chaim Mailspin, and I'm here in a place of pain with a father whose heart has been broken, Yoram. This is the Re'im site, the festival, dance festival called Nova happened here, and a few other festivals. Siduk was over that way, and Mushroom Festival, and that is where the Nukhba, the Hamas, Izzeldin al-Qassam, I don't know, Islamic Jihad, who all came through, and by the thousands, came through the fence and massacred even your own son, Ron.
Yes.
So this dumpster here, I understand that this isn't just, this was a dumpster at the festival, and this is where your son was murdered?
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell a story. Mm-hmm. There were two dumpsters here. This one is the left one, as you can see in the picture there, and the right one.
Okay.
The right one was full of garbage and clothes. The door was closed. And the left one was half with garbage, and the door was open. My son Ron came here with his two friends exactly at 8:28. They went inside. They just ran away from the terrorists. They ran away from Road 232 because they start shooting them on the road, and they arrived here, went inside the dumpster at 8:22, 8:30, and stayed there until one terrorist went inside at exactly 11:47 and shot them all. There were 16 youngs inside. 9 of them were murdered and 7 survived. 4 of them wounded. I know that it was exactly at 11:47 because one of Ron's friends went outside from the dumpster at 10:30 and just hide under the caravan that was stayed here. And he saw everything and recording everything, and he saw the terrorists coming inside the dumpster at 11:47. But at 9:20, between 9:15 to 9:45, the Nukhbas came here and murdered all of the youngs around the dumpster. We are talking about more than 140 that were murdered around. They just started here and went to the small bar, and then to the main stage, and then to the ambulance, and they killed about more than 140 youngs here. But those terrorists didn't went inside the dumpster at that time. We don't know why. I don't have any reason why they didn't went inside the dumpster at 9:20. And it was a luck for them because they survived. But in the second wave of the terrorists that came from Gaza, the second wave started about 10:30, 11, the second wave of the terrorists. And as I said, at exactly 11:47, one terrorist went inside and shot them all. 7 were survived and 9 were killed. One of them is my Ron. You can see him here.
Did you receive a phone call from Ron
Yeah, of
5
course.
minutes before this, right?
Yeah, WhatsApp messages because he couldn't speak. He said that they cannot talk because they are surrounded by terrorists and they wanted to be quiet inside. They wanted that someone outside will hear them. And about 7 minutes before, he wrote to me, everything will be okay, I love you. Send me a yellow heart, and of course that will be updated later. And 9 minutes later, he didn't answer us anymore.
I know that this whole nation is going through such a time of trauma. With the 251 hostages, some have been released, but for you, your son is murdered, and there's few people like that who really have to live. And your wife Sigal, how do you live in a day-to-day knowing that just because your son was Jewish,
No,
he was murdered in cold blood? How do you?
you are not live, you are survive. Every day is survived. You survive day by day. You cannot live, especially that you know what happened, especially that I was in contact with him from early in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, till 11:39. Ron was an optimist. Ron survived many times before from many, many difficult situations in the army, in his trip around the world, in South America. So I was sure that Ron will survive, will succeed to survive this situation. Even I didn't understand at that day that he is in dangerous situation because, as you can find in the messages, he wrote to us that everything is okay, that he is in a safe place, that the army is on the way to save them. I know that later I knew that he was lying to us because he didn't want us to be worried about him. Maybe he thought that I will come here if I will understand, if I understood that he is in bad situation, he is in dangerous. And it took for state 7 days to come
7 days till they reported that
report us that Ron
he's for sure dead.
is murdered,
Murdered.
but we knew on the same day. In the evening we knew because he was here with his 2 friends, and they told us later in the evening. He didn't told us. They just say that Ron was shot, and they don't know what about him. But later, early in the morning, one of his Ron friends told us that he said to my wife, to Sigal, I just went inside the garbage. Ron didn't succeed. I'm sorry. That's it. And then we understood that Ron is not alive.
I see that you've held on to some of the things that he loves. His Beitar Yerushalayim.
Yeah.
You have his jersey right over there of Beitar Yerushalayim, and those Sigalit would cook these little chocolate desserts that he loved.
Chocolate balls.
Yeah.
Ron loved chocolate balls. There were chocolate balls in the refrigerator all time for Ron and his friends. Our house is an open house. Ron's friends were always love to come to our house, like to eat Sigal's food, like the chocolate balls, and Sigal is doing everything with chocolate balls for Ron Memorial. And we got a lot of messages and pictures around the world from Jewish around the world that they are doing the chocolate balls
Oh.
and with pictures, and it's very excited. It's very excited.
You know, until this war, I never understood fully, you know, Sergeant Major and Yahalom, Jewish family, I never understood the full meaning of Am Yisrael Chai. Because I'm like, it's kind of obvious. We eat food, we go to sleep, we wake, we're Anachu Chaim. What's the big problem? Until you recognize the amount of evil in this world that wants Am Yisrael met. That's all they want. And when you say Am Yisrael Chai, you're saying, so there. And we're going to keep living. We're going to keep living, and we're going to live. Israel's forever. Am Netzach.
I tell you something. I'm in a group named Moetzet October, and we are fighting about several months for a real investigation, ועדת חקירה ממלכתית, against the government, against the coalition, because we want three things. We want the justice for our kids. We want the truth for the families. And we want to prevent the next October 7. Only with a real investigation, a state investigation. Not a political investigation or לאומית investigation as the guys there, national investigation. Nothing, only a real investigation, state investigation. That's what we are asking for, because I have two kids and I want them to grow up in Israel. I want them to build their family here in Israel.
Yes.
Now we don't have the insurance for that until the real investigation.
Do you feel that a veil, a disguise has come off of the evil of this world that was a little hidden before October 7th? For example, Ansar Allah, the Houthis. What about the Badr force in Iraq? What about all the proxies of Iran, and all their tentacles of the octopus everywhere, even in Judea and Samaria, even in, of course, Gaza, Hezbollah, and so on and so forth, ISIS, Daesh, Boko Haram. It's a big... It's a big thing that was kind of hidden. We felt everyone will stand with us in the West. But we saw what really happens is every Western capital had pro-Hamas protests happening.
I think that the world got crazy. The world actually got crazy because the goods become the bads and the bads become the goods. I don't understand that. But really, I don't understand what happened in the world, what happened, why all states in the world see something that is the fake, and we are the bad guys. But I hope it will be changed. It will change because we don't have another country. We need to stay here. We have to stay here and grow up our children here, our grandchildren here, and this is my plan. This is my plan for Ron.
Yes.
And for all the other 411 youngs that were murdered here.
What would you say to someone watching around the world? Maybe they're Jewish, maybe they're not, but they want to do what's right. They want to stand up for what's right. What would you say to them in the inspiration of Ron Yehudi from Judea?
Yeah. As I said, Ron was optimistic. Ron liked the life. Ron wanted to stay here in Israel, to build his family here. But he also likes to travel around the world. And you know, we have a sticker of Ron. You only live once, just fucking do it. This is Ron's sticker. And his friend named him Simchat HaChaim Medabeket.
A contagious joy of life.
That was Ron. I have stickers here. So we want people to continue their life, to be happy, to travel. And Israel is our country. and we will not leave it. We will continue to fight it. You know, we need to fight against our politician here in Israel, just to bring the truth to the people of Israel. But we will win in this fight also.
The light will overcome darkness. And I just thank you for opening up your heart and sharing as a grieving father.
Thank you.
Many stand with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Keep living strong for Ron, for God, for this land.
I'm missing him so much. Every day, every minute, every hour. You can see his smile. Always smiling. I have one more story about this container. The container was disappeared 2 days later. This container was disappeared. The owner took it. It took for me about a promise to Ron that I will bring it back. It took for me about 3 or 4 months to find it. And I bought it from the owner, from my own money. I bought it from the owner, and I joined to Amir Khodorov is the artist. You can see his name there. Amir Khodorov is the artist, and it took for us about 3 months to build it. And the concept is that all the 9 that were murdered will have a sign, and all the WhatsApp messages between him or her with their family. So you don't need a tour guide inside, just to read it in English also, and you will understand what happened here about 4 or 5 hours on October 7.
I'll end with this. What some dark forces of the world think is garbage, think is the trash of the world, they don't know. It's the treasure of the world. It's the light in this world, a light to the nations. That is you.
Thank you.
And your family. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into yet another episode of the Real Israel podcast with me, Chaim Mailspin, where truth shines, dispelling the darkness. And if you found value in today's episode, please like it, comment, we want to hear from you, and subscribe. Click that notification bell and share it. Join the conversation and be a truth speaker for Israel.